माला तो कर में फिरे, जीभ फिरे मुख माही। मनुआ तो चाहो दिशो फिरे, ये तो सिमिरन नाही कबीरा, ये तो सिमिरन नाही। माला तो कर में फिरे, जीभ फिरे मुख माही। मनुआ तो चाहो दिशो फिरे, ये तो सिमिरन नाही कबीरा, ये तो सिमिरन नाही। Now this verse is titled The Rosary Bead. The rosary rotating in your hand. Mala to kar mein phire. Phire, I am rotating. Jeeb phire mukhamahi. The tongue twisting in the mouth. The rosary rotating in the hand. The tongue twisting in the mouth. Manuato chahu disha phire, with the mind wandering everywhere. Ye to simiran nahi. This isn't worship, this isn't meditation, this is not prayer. Again, he is attacking the mere superstition or the mere mechanical practices people adopt in the name of attaining spirituality. The rosary bead rotating in the hand, the tongue twisting in the mouth, but the mind wandering everywhere. This isn't meditation. This is not meditation, my dear. All right. So he is very clear in his message, what he is trying to convey, that meditation is, firstly, in fact, he's not trying to be sarcastic nor cynical. He's only being factual. Now, where people are going wrong is not in their genuine attempt. People are genuinely attempting. People are very sincere, trying to get a grip or control over the mind. Because whatever you do, whatever you say, whatever said and done, the bottom line of spiritual transformation is bringing your mind under your grip. It's like the chariot where the Lord Krishna gets the horses in his control. The horses, the five horses, the five senses, the reins of the mind, the intellect, the charioteer, which is Lord Krishna. You have a perfect grip, a control over your mind and your senses. That at all times is the ultimate acid test of spiritual establishment. If you're established in the spiritual path, you should keep the mind at bay. Yesterday night, just before I got off to bed, around 9-ish, the usual time, I knock off. I had a dialogue with Reddy Garu and Harishji, independently first and then collectively together with them. And with your thoughts running frantic, running in such intensity of the job at hand, the task ahead, the things that need to be done. You have an obligation to execute the project. There's so many things that's happening. And yet you're already in your nightgown, you're already in the bed, you want to switch off. Am I able to snap the mind after you say, thank you very much, sir, we'll meet tomorrow? Does the mind Does the mind's soliloquy continue? The problem is the world has come to an end, but the mind's soliloquy continues. The mind doesn't come to rest. So my spirituality was determined, was judged at that moment when I was in bed, wanting to go to sleep. Have I been successful in sleeping? How soon did I sleep? That determines spirituality. Is not how am I entertaining you all, how much I'm impressing you all, how eloquent I am in the Shastras. No. It may sound baffling, but real spirituality is judged at that moment. Am I able to switch off my mind and go to sleep? There's nothing I can do at that moment, but yet the mind tends to rush and worry and anxiety. In fact, even just before that, or in between the conversations, I had a conversation with Jam also, and the message, the gist of which she said, Guruji, you seem to be not worried. She presented some update of the financials for the project, and says, Guruji, you seem to be not worried. We are all getting worried. I wish I am in your shoes. These were her comments. I'm not claiming anything. So what I'm trying to say is, end of the day, whatever you do, whatever happens, you must have the mind under control. And those who are trying to control the mind, the spiritual masters are licentious in recommending people to plunge into meditation. Most, if not all, spiritual gurus recommend meditation. You go to any spiritual retreat and come back to me and tell me if meditation was not a part of their spiritual exercise. I want to take an audience with that guru. If meditation was not, in fact, in most cases, meditation takes a precedence over every other practice. Now, what is the verse saying? What is the Doha saying? It is not the question of attempting to meditate, but the question of an ill-prepared mind trying to meditate. That is the highlight of the verse. Most of our minds are not ready to meditate. You're not equipped, you're not qualified to meditate. To a large extent, I will say, I myself, I'm not qualified to meditate. I'm not in a stage where I can just sit aloft in a single thought, not thinking of any other thought, cutting away myself from the world, and just be in that state of meditating. I am not there. Let me be very true to confess. Why should I assume myself to be something other than what I am? I am not there. So I'll confess. There's nothing wrong. I know I'll get there. Very soon I'll get there. That's the conviction. Who are you to refute that? There's none to refute it. I'll get there. But I'm not there yet. Now, so what's the point is, an ill-prepared mind cannot meditate, which is what he's saying. The rosary beads are rotating in the hand. So people are given a rosary bead. It's just nothing but a mala with the beads of a rosary, which are of a particular size. For those of you who have, most of you don't need any introduction to what a rosary bead, which is used for meditation. If at all anybody needs clarification, it's Kashish. Kashish, have you ever sat in a meditative state trying to meditate with the rosary bead in your hand?
Hariom Guruji.
Hariom.
Yes, I have.
Oh my God, you have now shocked me beyond my senses now.
My dad only just called it Japamala.
It is the Japamala, you're right. It is the Japamala. So you have meditated also?
I've tried. I don't know if I was successful.
So what have you not achieved at this young age, Kashish? You have tried everything in life. I think except going to the space station, I suppose.
I'm sure there's plenty I haven't done.
I'm sure there's a lot more to explore and experience in life. But yes, now you are also very familiar with that that spiritual tool or an aid that is given to a practitioner to help keep his mind aloft on the chant. As you all are aware, when you hold the rosary bead, and the attempt is to sync your mind chanting to the turning of the bead. It's a simple exercise. As you chant, you may choose any mantra of your choice, but let's say you're chanting the mantra Om, and as you chant the mantra Om, you're supposed to turn the bead, each bead. Again, when you chant the mantra Om, next you're supposed to turn the bead. So when you say Om, keep a look at my thumb also, not looking anywhere, you know. Yes, you're rotating the Om, and I'm chanting the mantra Om. The third time when I'm chanting the mantra Om, the mind has gone somewhere else. Where? It has gone to home. Oh, I was supposed to be home early today. My wife said we are having some guests. Where am I sitting in this meditation center meditating? I have to go home. So I am meditating, chanting Om. Suddenly the mind has wandered away, has gone home. When the mind doesn't back the chant, you should get a jerk. And the jerk reflects in, how does it reflect? You will stop the rotation of the bead. That is a point to alert you that you have lost your focus, lost your attention. Now what's happening? As Kabirji says, the beads are rotating in the hand. The result is the beads are being polished meticulously. You know, you made like a mechanical ritual, like, you know, you can count a currency note, like you go to a bank, these cashiers, and they're so far, you know, they're doing like this, you know, from morning to night, they're only doing this. So they'll be talking and they're counting here. It's like a machine, you know, mechanical. So they're just turning the bead. The result is the beads are polished. So the more the polish of the bead, the less spiritual you are. Go into your puja rooms and see how polished are your beads. If you have one, I have none. Be proud to say if you have none. I'm proud to say I have none. So the tongue twisting means mechanically chanting, mechanically doing, but with the mind wandering anywhere, that is not meditation. So that the question I said is, an ill-prepared mind cannot meditate. Now, what do I mean by an ill-prepared mind? Being very specific to the context, please. Think along the context. What do you mean? What do I mean by an ill-prepared mind? Harish. I just happened to see you because you are appearing right in the front of my screen, the center of my screen. So therefore I had to say Harish, you know, not that there's any greater liking for you. No.
Thank you. Hariham Guruji.
I'm very Guruji, bad, you know, very bad. Just because you have the license to say anything you want, you can say it.
Huh? No, not at all.
Yes, Harish, please.
Guruji, from my understanding, the ill-prepared mind basically means that the mind is very distracted and fickle and it's unfocused. So while one may be doing the rosary beads, if the mind is basically the mind is everywhere else but in meditation. It's everywhere else but there.
And you want it to be there?
No, I mean, no. I mean, the definition of the
you want the mind to be there in meditation, but yet it is there everywhere else where you want it else, but where you want it to be, isn't it?
Correct.
Like you sit in front of this screen, wanting to grab as much you can, you enjoy this session, but where is your mind? You're trying to confine it to this space of the screen, but mind goes beyond the purview of the screen, isn't it?
Correct.
How many times the mind goes, Harish?
Sometimes very frequently, sometimes
my
less
God.
frequently,
So
sometimes less
what
frequently.
that determines on the mood of the guru, or what
No,
does it determine? If the guru
it
is in a
depends.
good mood, your mind doesn't wander much. If guru is not in a good mood, then your mind will wander more, is it?
No, it's my own restlessness or my
Ah,
own.
thank God you spared the guru. The guru is very boring today. Therefore, I can think of anything else than this. Uh, right. But Harish, to be very specific to the point, the mind is wandering. The mind is not able to be in the on the chant. But why? What makes the mind ill prepared? When I say ill prepared mind, what are we exactly talking? What exactly we are saying?
Uh, Basically, it's not able to come to a focus point to attune to
You are
that
talking,
specific.
Harish, you're still talking of the effect. I'm talking of the
Okay,
cause.
okay.
What is the cause which makes your mind ill prepared? You're saying I'm not able to concentrate. You're saying my mind is wandering. My mind is not in its place. I understand that. My question is, that is what an ill prepared state is. But the question is, what is the cause of that? You're still describing the effect. Think along, Harish. Good. You're thinking along, but that's the slight adjustment where you have to focus not on the effect, but the cause. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
get to Sriniji.
Hariam Guruji.
Hariom, sir.
The way I see it is the mind is not in the present. So if you're in the present, then you are less distracted.
Again, you're
Or it
describing
doesn't
the
want it.
effect. Again, you're describing the effect. I want the cause. Like Harish said, mind is wandering, which is past or future. You're saying not in the present. The same thing, isn't it?
I see it slightly differently, but you may be right. I see if the mind is in the present, then that's the state of mind, right? That's the way I see it. That's the cause I
But
see it.
see, if the mind is in the present, it's a well-prepared mind. Okay.
Correct.
If you're able to have your mind in its place, the mind doesn't wander, then it's a well-prepared mind. It's very adequately attuned, matured. A matured mind doesn't wander. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
All right. But when the mind wanders, it's an effect of a certain state.
The
Which is what
cause
I'm
for
asking.
restlessness. What is the cause for restlessness?
Not just for restlessness. I'm not again looking at from that particular window. I'm asking in general. When we say an ill-prepared mind cannot meditate, what does ill-prepared mind means?
I'm not very sure. I don't know
All
what
right.
the cause would be.
Fair enough. I agree. I'm with you on that, but my job is to make you all think. And the irony of it is all of us are in that state. Therefore, I'm very certain none of us can meditate. So don't just be influenced by the propaganda, the spiritual propaganda of meditation. Every guru out there is hammering and marketing. They have deep pockets to market. And every media, every tool, every platform you go, there is some marketing tool, something that is constantly bombarding your meditation. It will not work. It doesn't work. If you are not prepared, and majority of mankind is not prepared. Majority. A small minority can meditate, being strict to the term meditation. Okay. Yes, Harish, you want to add something? Go ahead, please.
Yes, Guruji, another thought came to my mind. Could it be because the mind is constantly agitated or anxious?
You're very well describing the effect. You continue to describe the effect. But what is the cause? Setuji, you'll have to wait because I know you may know the answer. Let me engage with those who can think afresh. Reddy garu, any idea?
Pranam Guruji. No, I think I'm also going in similar lines. More of effects coming in mind, but definitely not the cause.
Not the cause. Okay. All right. Dhanya. Rajima, you are not able to. You have? Dhanya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I was trying to unmute myself. Only now I could. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be the cause, but just on a day-to-day, if I sit down to meditate, I think about the duties that I have to do, accomplish that day, all my work related or home related. Just today is Sunday for me. You know, I think about everything that I need to accomplish, and all of those thoughts enter my head.
But I wouldn't call that as meditation. Do you know what the definition of meditation is?
Yeah. Try to free your.
Not being technical. You may not have the exact technical definition, but do you understand what strictly is meditation?
Yeah, trying to focus on something and keeping your mind free of other thoughts and trying to focus, and for the whatever time, the duration you are meditating, your I mean, if you're like chanting a mantra, your focus is on the verses of the mantra, trying to free your mind of everything else.
Yes, to a large extent. Yes, yes. So just to give it, since we mention of it, I'll clarify it. Harishi, if you could kindly capture that for us, please. Meditation is an art. It's an art. It's not something you can perfect it without practicing it. Now, I don't quote me wrongly practicing it, but it's an art. Now, meditation is an art of keeping the mind aloft to a single thought. Meditation is an art of keeping the mind aloft to a single thought, to the exclusion of all other thoughts, under the governance of one's intellect. I repeat, meditation is an art of keeping the mind aloft on a single thought to the exclusion of all other thoughts, under the governance of one's intellect. So the mind is kept on a single thought, and the intellect governs it and ensures the mind doesn't go off the chant. That is meditation. Tanya, are you okay on that?
Yeah.
But when you spoke earlier of trying to get your calendar for the day so that you are able to optimize and be as productive as possible, when you are concentrating on more than one event, it is not called meditation. Like now, you're not meditating. I'm saying so many things. I'm throwing so many thoughts. So many concepts are being thrown at you. So your mind is trying to grasp many things. You can't say you're meditating in the class. You are trying to concentrate. So there's a difference between concentration and meditation. In fact, concentration is a prerequisite for meditation. When I connected with Harish earlier, I said, how many times does your mind leave the boundaries of that screen you're looking at? If the mind slips away from what is happening in the class, even for a moment, that means you have lost your concentration. Exactly like when you're driving, you must have your concentration. If you're behind the wheel, you must concentrate every minute. The moment you lapse, if there's a lapse in the concentration, you end up in trouble, isn't it? I see people, they don't unwind, they don't pull up their windows. They go to a common, somewhere they park in a common area and the windows are down. They're not alert that they have to close their windows. Concentration. Many people sometimes don't even park their car in their proper bay. No concentration. You're not perfect in your act of simple parking. You're not concentrating on the job. You're not keeping to your lane. Or you're not giving indicator. You're not watching out for everyone around you. You need to be extremely alert while driving. Otherwise, you're in trouble. That's concentration. So when anything is general is concentration. Anything specific to exclusion of anything else is meditation. In fact, concentrated concentration is meditation. If you can't even concentrate, forget concentrated concentration. So concentration becomes a prerequisite to meditate. So if any one of you can claim that, sir, this is 1 hour, 15 minutes, my mind has not left the presence or the boundary of the proceedings or the happenings here, I will congratulate you that you have a very, okay, Danya, can you say, if you have concentrated for 1 hour and 15 minutes, what does it prove?
That I'm lying.
No, I'm not claiming on your behalf. I'm just taking an example.
No, I was just joking.
You're very honest also.
No, that I have built that power to the ability to concentrate on something for the duration of the time. Probably I'm better equipped to meditate.
If your mind has been in the class for 1 hour, 15 minutes, what does it mean? I'm helping you answer the question by rephrasing it. Your mind has not gone beyond the class for 1 hour, 15 minutes. What does it mean? That means you have a strong intellect. I'm trying to establish something here, Danya. You have a strong intellect, you will be able to keep your mind on a chosen action. So the same intellect is going to help you in a very concentrated practice of meditation as well. If my intellect can't control the mind in a general activity, how do you think I can control my mind on a intense spiritual activity? It's like I'm not able to drive a car I lose control over the car the moment the car goes beyond 20, 30 miles or 50, 60 kilometers, you lose control. And suddenly I make you sit behind a Formula One car. What will happen? Can you imagine what would happen if you suddenly sit behind a Formula One wheel and you have all that power at your fingertips? What would happen? Guaranteed accident. Guaranteed off course. You know, as kids, we all have gone to these game stations and where you get a chance to sit behind these gaming consoles where you get to play, isn't it? Have you tried? I'm sure you've taken your kids to these places and you have these driving consoles where you get to experience that Formula One car, and it is such a art of just being on the track. The track turns, you got to turn. You may say it's still a game, but still it is exactly the same way. I can't control a car at 60. What can I control at 300, 350, 400 kilometers? Impossible. That's the difference. But if you have your mind under control, that means you have got a strong intellect. And the same intellect helps you to meditate. All right.
Yep.
Right. Thanks, Danya. So coming back to the primary question as to what does an ill-prepared mind mean? Hirenji.
Yes, Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaskar, sir.
That means that I have not developed my intellect as much as to concentrate. But I had a question. I don't know if you have answered right. We will discuss about that probably. But the question comes along with it. As Dhanyaji said that this is Sunday, she's preparing well for the coming week, which is part of life, everybody's life, right? Work is part of everybody's life. So she's doing that. If she can execute her work with concentrated mind, most of it, she has got a controlled mind, right? I'm using her example. So I'm not sure. Meditation probably is not only for spiritual reasons, but meditation is required to concentrate our mind in anything we do. Is that also not right?
See, I wouldn't use the word meditation for an activity which is multifold, where your mind is participating in many activities. You say concentration. You wouldn't use the word meditation. It's a very exclusive terminology used in a specific context.
Yes.
Now it has lost its purity because it has been adulterated and used everywhere. So my whole attempt here is not to adulterate that word meditation and use it in a context which the scriptures have used it so delicately, very carefully. I'm almost bringing back the sanctity of what meditation is. You get what I'm trying to attempt here?
In spiritual terms.
In spiritual terms. It is a spiritual term, and let it be used in that realm alone.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Right. Yeah.
And coming back to the answer, you said an ill-prepared mind means you have a weak intellect. Is that what you said?
That's what I say. Yeah.
Okay.
You get more prepared to control your mind, right?
See, intellect does control the mind, but that doesn't mean a mind is ill-prepared. It doesn't directly answer the question.
Okay.
Doesn't answer the question. All right. Now, it's very easy for me to just spell it out. You may say, why are you beating around the bush? Why can't you just say it, get it done and move on? But it will not work. You will not get it. This is the way you have to extract the wisdom out of you all. The process of extracting wisdom may be painstaking, but this is the process.
Yeah. By
By spelling it out, there is no wisdom, it's information. But if I go through this process of getting to the point, it is wisdom. Because you will never forget it. Like I made you think for half an hour on this. If I spelled it out, it's a matter of information, you'll forget it very soon. That's the difference. It's a unique methodology. So I am not trying to lay any greater emphasis, but this is not done. It's hardly done in classrooms. So I beg for your patience, because it's not the question of covering the text, it's a question of getting into the right methodology. Okay, right, Hirenji. Reddy Garu?
Guruji, I seek little clarification related to the description, the meaning which we have mentioned about a single thought to the exclusion of all other thoughts. when we say that, it could be reading a book, making a cooking activity, or anything can be very focused. So how do we, a subtle difference we make it between a meditation and a concentration? Because you brought in a new thought to that. Till now, I was under impression that whatever we do, focused and not wandering the mind in any other activities, let's say reading the book, we're totally involved in that. So will we call it as a meditation, or it could be the concentration?
Again, would reiterate, when you have multitude of thoughts, you may say, I'm reading one book, that is one action. But while you're reading the book, there's so many thoughts, isn't it? So many ideas, so many scenes. The various thoughts are being processed.
That's right. So I mean to say the meditation is a thoughtless.
No, meditation deals with a single thought. Write down this, sir. Meditation deals with a single thought to reach the state of thoughtlessness. You use meditation as a last tool to remove the last thought to reach a state of thoughtlessness. That is the only purpose meditation serves. If you use it for any other purpose, it is abuse of meditation. Not using, abusing.
I think I will be successful. I'm successful on an everyday manner by going in a deep sleep. There's only one area where I think absolutely thoughtless. Or
That's
a single
true.
thought.
Yeah, that's what they say. Temporarily you attain samadhi, moksha.
Yes.
You reach that state of thoughtlessness in deep sleep.
Yes.
But if you are entertaining multitude of thoughts, it is concentration, sir. It's not meditation. And go back to the definition. Meditation is an art of keeping the mind to a single thought. Single thought, whatever the thought be. But if you can keep the mind in that thought, you attain that state of meditation. Say there's a seemingly innocuous story. There was a cowherd boy who used to take his cattle grazing. And once the cattle were left to do their job, he was just jobless. He was just sitting under a tree and, he's just doing nothing. And he suddenly saw, because every time he used to take the cattle into different parts of the jungle. And at a distance, he saw a man. He got a glimpse as if there's someone sitting there. He went up to close to that point and he saw a very elderly person sitting. He was actually sitting and meditating. So this fellow had nothing else to do. So he would sit there and keep looking at this man, admiring him, what he's doing. And that man is oblivious who is there and he's meditating. But suddenly this fellow sneezed. He sneezed. And when he sneezed, the Swami got disturbed because he didn't expect anybody around him because he was somewhere aloof in the jungle meditating. So when he saw this young boy wrapped in attention looking at him. So there was a conversation between the two. Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And obviously he recognized this fellow as a cowherd boy. He could hear the cattle at a distance grazing with their bells ringing. But the Guru, the Swami, was oblivious to all the disturbance. He was lost in meditation. Then he said, as you know, I have nothing to do. I was just wondering. And innocently asked, what are you doing, Swami? I am meditating. And innocently the boy asked, I also want to meditate. The Swami didn't dismiss him. He said, oh, you want to meditate? And he instantly connected him being a cowherd boy, he's all the time with the cattle. He said, you keep uttering the word buffalo, buffalo, buffalo throughout the day. Oh, by just uttering the word buffalo, 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 I'm meditating. Yes, you do that. And that guy was so sincere and so diligent and so dexterous in just uttering the word buffalo. So what he did, his mantra for meditation was buffalo, 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 buffalo. He kept on saying buffalo, buffalo. And the story goes, very soon that boy realized, and the Swami was still trying to realize, But this is the story. You see that? The story is the boy attained moksha because the boy kept his mind successfully on the chosen thought. That is meditation. He didn't think of anything else but the buffalo. So it doesn't matter whether you chant the mantra Om, or whether you chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Ganapate Namaha, or you may chant anything, or you may say buffalo. You can choose your mantra, what is dear to you, but if you keep it in aloft in a single thought, that will take you to the state of thoughtlessness. That is meditation. It is not the matter of what you chant, but how you chant. The chanting is not the problem, is how you chant is a problem. If your mind gets lost in the chant and doesn't think of anything else, you have attained that meditative state. Moksha is guaranteed. So just to highlight the importance of how you practice it, not what you do. So much adherence is given to the right bead, the right process, the right place, but the right mind is not right place. First of all, mind is everywhere else. Now, an ill-prepared mind cannot meditate. What makes the mind ill-prepared is a mind. Setuji, now is your chance, sir. He might say, no, you said you will ask me later on and you have just forgotten me. He's wondering. No, sir, I have not forgotten you, sir. How can I forget you? Yes, sir.
Hariom Guruji.
Hariom, sir.
I feel it is because of void in the mind. Mind is incomplete. Mind is full of desires and not paripurna.
Correct. Absolutely right. As I said, I knew that you know. That's the reason I didn't ask you. You actually answered it. The reason, or that which makes the mind ill-prepared, is a mind which is infested with desires and attachments, with its selfishness. A mind which is full of desires and attachments cannot meditate. And what makes the mind ill-prepared is the desires. And whenever we use the word desire in the scriptural study, it talks of its selfish nature. So the more desires you have, the more agitated you are. Now you are able to connect the cause and effect. Haresh and Sriniji. Hareshji, did I not say that? You're talking of agitated state of mind as an effect. What's the cause of that? Selfish desires. A mind which is full of selfish desires, the more desires you have, the more agitated you are. The less desires you have, the more peaceful you are. This is a law of life. The more desires you have, the chances are that the world may not satisfy every desire of yours, isn't it? So you will get into mental disappointments, you will be dejected, you will find yourself not satisfying everything that you want. So that regret or disappointment leads to frustration, agitation, stress. So in fact, stress is defined as mental agitations arising due to unfulfilled desires. I'm switching mode from Sant Kabir to management. Stress, when you do a stress workshop, I would say this. There's a definition of stress. Stress is nothing but a mental agitation arising due to unfulfilled expectations and desires. Your expectations and desires are not met, you are stressed. You manage your desires and expectations, you can keep your mind peaceful and calm. Oh, things are not going the way I wanted it. I've booked my travel, I've done this, I've done that, but suddenly these people say that flight is fully booked. How can they do that? I've booked that beach view room. Or in the cruise, I've planned this holiday and I wanted that particular, these fellows have given me some other. You're so disappointed, angry. Why? What you want is not happening. So the desires makes the mind ill-prepared. So when you get rid of your desires, your mind becomes light. L-I-T-E. The mind becomes light, it starts floating, it starts going, thoughts go higher. L-I-T-E, correct, Rajima? Huh? No, huh? Correct word, no? L-I-T-E. Not L-I-T-E.
Guruji, the spelling is L-I-G-H-T only. Guruji.
Oh, L-I-G-H-T only. Suddenly the light bulb blew in me now. So the mind becomes light. L-I-G-H-T, light. Not L-I-T-E. Kashish, please strike off what you wrote L-I-T-E. Wondering what is this new word I've learned? Please strike off. You have struck off, no? In your notes? Please. Nothing beyond that. Only that one word you strike off, not the whole notes. Huh? So when the mind becomes light, it can take off. It can get elevated. Just like when you have, in an aircraft, they are so particular. What is your, what's the term, Harish ji, they use? Laden weight. Is that what the term you use? What is the dead weight?
Right. It's the laden weight is what you use.
It's the laden weight. So if the laden weight is beyond the threshold of what's the capacity of the aircraft, they will not, the aircraft cannot take off. If the laden weight of an aircraft is, let's say, 5 tons, I'm just saying, or 2 tons. Even it can be a cargo airline. If the laden weight is 2 tons, and if you put 5 tons, the aircraft will crash. It can't even take off on the runway. So the lighter the aircraft, the easier to take off. You overload it with weight, with laden weight, it can't take off. When the mind today is pinned down with your desires and attachments to the world, so how can it meditate? It cannot meditate. The mind has to be aloft on the thought of the higher. So the mind can't go. Where is the mind going? Constantly to its areas of its attachments and desires. So it can't stop thinking of all this. And suddenly, while you're caught up in all these things, suddenly you want to meditate. How can it meditate? How can it go where you want it to go? It will only go where it has to go, where your attachments, my son, my child, my business, my home, my investments, my stocks, my returns, my car, my name, my family. This is all that you're meditating on. What are you meditating on? You're meditating on all these things. Suddenly I say, think of Brahman. Who is that? You say, who is that? I've heard, very familiar, but I don't know who that is. I can't meditate, I'm sorry. All you're meditating is this. That is what Kabir ji is saying. This isn't meditation, my dear. Your mind is wandering, restless, because it is desire laden. So therefore the exercise you got to do before you meditate. What should you do? Since an ill-prepared mind cannot meditate, spiritual sadhana is to prepare the mind for meditation. Now, therefore, it will be incomplete if I don't mention what's the preparation for meditation. And Vasantama will guide us. She will conclude the class.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Is it Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana?
That dialogue only belongs to Tinkima. You are not supposed to take. She has got a proprietary over it. Am I right, Tinkima? Or have you released little proprietary control over it?
No, I don't own anything. We enjoy, but they cannot possess. That's what I learned in the class.
Yeah. Very big philosophy. आप तो बड़े philosopher हो गया अभी. That used to be her favorite word. Whenever she used to write any takeaway, somehow, somewhere she'll bring Manana, Nididhyasana into it. And I said, Ma, why are you bringing Manana everywhere? I used to think, So that's her favorite concept.
Because Guruji, that time I was only in nursery. I only learned ABC. Now I've gone to DEF. So that's, I think, I don't know.
No, absolutely. No, I'm just being very, no, absolutely. Yes, Vasantama, tell us what is preparation for meditation? What prepares the mind to meditate?
To strengthen your intellect through knowledge of the spirit.
You are not thinking in line. What is the ill-prepared mind, we said?
Desires.
What's the one word which ill prepares? The state of an ill-prepared mind is defined by desires, right? Now, what makes the mind prepared? You must answer, what is it that deals with your desires? Ilya?
Yes, you have to overcome
our desires. Now, what is it that deals with your desires? What are the spiritual practices deals with your desires?
we have to, only with knowledge, Guruji, we can overcome our desires. Service and sacrifice, becoming unselfish first and then becoming selfless.
See, looking at the smile on your face, I can't say no, I'm not able to say no. What do I do? I'm helpless. I'll give you 70% marks now. I can't give you distinction, but 70% marks I'll give you. In fact, the desires are dealt with. The mainstream spiritual practices are the karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and the jnana yoga. And you have mentioned in your answer, service and sacrifice, which is karma yoga, knowledge is jnana yoga. So when you perform karma, bhakti, and jnanam, it takes care of your selfish desires, it gets rid of your desires and prepares the mind for meditation, for nididhyasana. And it is 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. This is spirituality, spiritual exercise. 99% perspiration. I'm just borrowing the terms of my guru. He used to say this. It is 99% perspiration. Perspiration means slog and slog and slog and slog. You have to keep constantly striving, putting an effort, do sadhana. 99% of your spiritual journey is perspiration. And the last 1% is inspiration, which is meditation. Now, what is everybody doing? 99% inspiration, 1% perspiration. It is not going to work, man. You're putting the cart before the horse. You will not go anywhere in your journey. The horse has to be before the cart, not the cart before the horse. Ulta pandringa. You are starting with meditation and not doing anything else. It's not going to help. You end your journey with meditation. Don't begin with it. When I say that, as you spiritually keep evolving, you become more meditative. Mark the word. You become more meditative. Your mind becomes more meditative. When I say meditative, meditation is not a practice. Meditation is a state. Meditation is not a practice, so don't practice it. Meditation is a state. You become meditative and then you meditate. Meditation is not the journey. Meditation is the destination. No guru will say this. If a guru says meditation is destination, he will be out of job. He'll have to find other things to teach you. Meditation is not the, now they're making it a journey. It's not a journey. It's a destination. Meditation is not the, Kashish, please write down. You'll have to summarize all this for me. Huh? Meditation is not a, what did I say so far? Meditation is not a practice, it's a state. Meditation is not a journey, it's a destination. I said meditation is not the cause, it is the effect. Meditation is not the seed, it's the fruit. Meditation is not something that you do. Meditation is something you move into. Now I'm done. Kashish, please repeat.
Yes, Guruji. You said meditation is not a practice, it's a state. It's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not a cause, it's the effect. It's not a seed, it's the fruit. It's not what you do, it's what you move into.
Perfect. The silence is intentional silence, not that I'm lost for words or thoughts. Is intentional just to help you process and let it sink. These could be it could be a familiar idea for you, but you're still doing the wrong thing. Pushpama, all okay, Pushpama? అర్థమవుతుందమ్మా?
Yes. I remember so far for one and a half hour I was concentrating, and the moment I heard the vessel sound, I remember I got distracted, like the servant has come, like. And I remember that thing, like one person is going on doing japam with the mala, and one person will be looking at him for so much time and he's not stopping. Then he will ask him, what are you thinking and what are you chanting, sir? Then he says, I'm looking for when the big bead will come. So that the japam will be over.
Usually when people reach the Meru, which is called the bigger bead, they turn the rosary and continue the process. But he's in a rush, Pavam, he has to go somewhere, you know.
So it has become a ritual. And another thing is, I'm trying to rate between concentration and the meditation. Like, suppose if the doctor is doing a surgery, he will concentrate fully. And a cricketer is playing, means he will concentrate on the ball only without thinking anything else. So is it due to the practice, or they don't do any meditation, but is it by practice? And like that we can also do by sadhana. Can we get the meditative state?
No. See that again, as I was telling Reddy Garu, it is not called as meditation. It is intense concentration in a field of activity. You know, I've heard, Sunil Gavaskar, since you talk of cricket, Sunil Gavaskar is someone who is who held a record for maximum number of centuries. I don't know how many exact numbers. And many a time he said he never knew that he was in his 90s. He never knew that he was in 98, 99. So he just kept playing as if he was oblivious. He was not mindful of the scoreboard or the pressure. So he was so engrossed in his action that he just kept performing. So there is no anxiety, which happens to a normal cricketer. The moment in his 90s, everybody say in cricketing terms, is a nervous 90s. Why the mind becomes anxious of the result, you lose your concentration, you end up making a silly mistake. So when you get lost, engrossed in an activity and you get enmeshed, you get completely, not enmeshed, I would say, you get completely absorbed in an action, dedicated to it with your head and heart, completely absorbed in it. It's almost like a meditative state, but it is not meditation. It's very close because it brings the best out of you. You become an excellent singer or an excellent artist or an excellent cook. Even a cook, when she is doing with so much of love and affection for the family, it brings the best out. You know, let's say the food on a day of a festival is little different. Why? Why, Ushama? Next festival day, I'm coming home. Uninvited.
Namaste, Guruji. You're most welcome, Guruji.
So festival day only I'll come. Other days I will think twice.
Because you tend to make more items and with greater love and greater attention.
Greater love because you're offering it to the Lord, isn't it? Not to the Rakshasas who are eating every day. I didn't mean that way. Ramji, I don't get me wrong at all. You know, you whatever. I can't. Is it possible to take back those words?
It's okay, Guruji.
No, tappu panna. Oh, okay, wa. What? Okay, Neenga solungo. You can say that. I can't say that. No.
Yes, Guruji. You have to take it back.
I have to take it back. Sorry, sir. Apologies. You know. So when the food is being offered as a prasad to the Lord, you know, you do it with such purity, with sanctity, with devotion. It's seen in the food you eat, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? So that almost becomes like a meditative state. It's like it's all again borrowing the term. It is strictly not meditation. Okay, ma. So Pushpama, yes, in any activity, whether it be cooking, singing, art, sport, you do it. You know, even while I'm doing this satsangs, you know, you almost get lost in these divine ideas and I'm in a zone of myself. Believe me, I don't know whether you're able to relate to that state, but I mean, it's in a complete flow. You're in a completely different frequency. And it's almost meditative state I am in when you are sharing this knowledge, but it is not meditation. So there are two different things. Okay, ma? Right. Hari Om. Hari ji.
Hari Om. Guruji, you said that the cause of the ill-prepared mind is desire, the unfulfilled desire. And the cause of the desire is ego. It is, I want that, I have not got it. My and I are the cause of desire. So if I say the root cause of ill-prepared mind is my ego.
Ego is an expression of desire.
Yeah.
It's not that desire is an expression of ego.
Yeah.
Ego manifests because of your selfishness and desires. It's not the other way around. You are saying because of ego, the desire arises. I'm saying it is because of the desire, the ego arises.
Okay.
So ego is the effect, the desire is the cause. So therefore, an ill-prepared mind is the desire, not the ego.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Because ego is just a qualification of thought.
Mm.
When you qualify a thought, sir, the subtle body, since you asked this, I'm saying subtle body has got mano, buddhi, chitta,
Chitta.
ahankar.
Yeah.
Okay? Taking the chitta out of the equation, mano, buddhi, ahankar. All these three, what are they? Mind, intellect, and ego. All the three are nothing but thoughts. Now, what is the difference between these three? When your thoughts are impulsive, it is the mind. When your thoughts are rational, it is the intellect. When your thoughts are arrogative and assertive, it's the ego. I repeat, when your thoughts are impulsive, it is the mind.
Yeah.
When your thoughts are rational, it's the intellect. When your thoughts are assertive and arrogative, it is ego.
Ego. Okay.
So ego is nothing but a qualification of a thought, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a qualification. But where do these thoughts come from? From the vasanas. So the vasanas and desires are the very root cause of
Okay.
that which keeps your mind, make your mind ill-prepared.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, sir. The rosary bead. Ramji, all okay, sir? Anything to summarize for us, sir? Too many things have been said today, sir.
Very difficult to summarize, Guruji. I think Kashish did a good job.
That she is. Where is she? There she is. Yeah. Very good job she did. Yes.
So I think essentially what you said is that an ill-prepared mind will not be able to meditate, and that is the primary point. I think the ill preparation is a result of desires and attachments in the mind, which don't allow you to concentrate. And concentration is not meditation. So meditation is an end state, and it is not a process, or it's not a route towards something different. And so I think those are the essential points which I have gathered. So spiritual sadhana is the only way in which you can reach a state of meditation. And so that spiritual sadhana, you said, comes out of karma, bhakti, and jnana practices, and a lot of effort. You said 99% perspiration means basically you have to make a lot of effort towards that. And so that is the thing. You will evolve spiritually when you become more meditative. So it is actually, they're what is called, they go along with each other. I mean, they go parallel to each other. That is spiritual growth and the meditative status, both. They will go, they're directly proportional, as we say. Yeah.
Yes.
I hope I have captured everything. Yeah.
No, you have summed up very well. It gives succinctly, you have said what exactly the emphasis is on. Right. Perfect. Thank you, sir. We'll come back. We'll come back. Okay. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.